The Wing Workspace. The Wing was a women-focused, co-working space collective and proprietary club with offices in New York City, Washington, D.C., San Francisco, Chicago, Los Angeles, and Boston. It was founded by Audrey, Gelman, and Kassan in 2016. The club has about 10,000 members. At its peak, the Wing had 11 locations in 2 countries. There were 7 branches in the USA. The Wing initially only accepted people who identify as women or non-binary, but to comply with non-discrimination laws began accepting people of any gender identity. After complaints about how the Wing failed to address racist behavior of its members and an employee walkout, Gelman stepped down as CEO in June 2020. On August 30, 2022, the Wing ceased operations effective immediately. This announcement was issued by email to its members, many of whom took to the company's still active social media to express disdain about the short-notice communication. History. The initial idea for the Wing stemmed from Audrey Gelman's desire for a space to change and relax between business meetings, as she lived in the New York City borough of Brooklyn, but worked in Soho, Manhattan, and in Washington, District of Columbia. The first title for this not-yet-created space was Refresh. When Gelman and Kassan began working together, they decided the Wing was a more fitting name, since it would represent a wing of the user's home away from their actual home. When developing this idea, the two decided to focus on creating a space where women can feel safe and supported. In October 2016, Gelman and Kassan founded the Wing in New York City's Flatiron District on the Ladies' Mile. The company raised $2.04 million from majority women seed investors, including SoulCycle's Julie Rice and Elizabeth Cutler, as well as Birchbox's Haley Bonner. The Wing closed its series of funding round led by early-stage venture firm New Enterprise Associates in April 2017. The company raised $8 million from investors, including Kleiner Perkins and BBG Ventures. They subsequently opened another branch in a loft in Soho. In November 2017, the Wing completed a Series B round led by WeWork. The company raised an additional $32 million, bringing their total investment to $42 million. During 2018, the Wing opened new spaces in the Dumbo neighborhood of Brooklyn, its 3rd New York City location in January, in the Georgetown neighborhood of Washington, D.C. in April, and in San Francisco, California in October. The Washington, D.C. facility includes a booth dedicated to law professor Anita Hill, while the San Francisco space has a conference room dedicated to psychology professor Christine Blasey Ford. At the end of 2018, the Wing announced it would offer on-site childcare services, the Little Wing, as part of the expansion of its Soho location. On March 1, 2018, the New York City Commission on Human Rights started a commission-initiated investigation into how the Wing membership system operates. At that time, the Wing did not allow men even as guests of members, unlike 2 other New York City women's clubs noted by the New York Times, Colony, and Cosmopolitan, though it did hire some men such as plumbers and electricians. In June 2018, James East, proprietary in Gilo, says an employee of the Wing told him his application would be automatically denied because he was a man. Proprietary in Gilo, a man described by TechCrunch as the dictionary definition of litigious, filed a lawsuit in August 2018, which claimed that the Wing's policy violated the District of Columbia's Human Rights Act. The Wing responded, stating that prior to August 30, 2018, it had an unwritten policy of only accepting women, including transgender women and gender non-binary people. The company adopted a formal written policy that took effect in September of that year, which accepts members regardless of gender identity. The company says it only accepts about 8% of applicants, those who it judges to be committed to its mission, and that only 12 out of about 26,000 applicants were men. The New York City Commission's investigation ended after the adoption of a formal policy allowing membership to people of any identity. In December 2018, the company closed a $75 million Series A led by Sequoia Capital, including investors Upfront Ventures, Herb, and others. Among the investors were leaders of the Time's Up movement, including Valerie Jarrett, Bobby Kaplan, Katie McGrath, Hillary Rosen, and Kerry Washington. At the time, the Wing had raised a total of $117.05 million in funding since its founding. In April 2019, the Wing opened its 6th location at the Fulton Market District in Chicago, Illinois. The same month, the Wing opened a 7th location on Santa Monica Boulevard in West Hollywood, California. The West Hollywood location became the 2nd location with an area for children. The location also has a soundproof screening room and film-themed phone booths names after Princess Leia from Star Wars, C.J. Craig of the West Wing, Lydia Dietz from Beetlejuice. The Wing's 8th location opened in June 2019 in the Back Bay area of Boston, Massachusetts. The first draft of subway ads for this new location were rejected by the MBTA for touching on political issues or matters of public debate and being potentially demeaning to a group of people, in this case men. The rejected ads included the slogans "The world was built for men," "The Wing is built for you," and "Want to mute the mansplainers and start your own conversation." The Wing's headquarters opened in the former Stuyvesant Polyclinic in East Village, Manhattan, the same month, occupying all of the clinic building. At the time, the Wing vacated its Soho location. Its first international location and 9th overall opened in Fitzrovia, London in October 2019. Another Manhattan location, New Bryant Park, opened that December, making it the Wing's 4th location in New York City and its 10th location overall. A location in Williamsburg, Brooklyn, opened in February 2020. Gelman stepped down as CEO that June in response to employees' complaints about their treatment by members and higher-up staff. In August 2020, it was announced that the London branch would permanently close, citing the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic as the cause. 300 employees were made redundant during this period. In February 2022, Jennifer Cho, Chief Marketing Officer of the company, was appointed CEO. Operations. Membership costs ranged between $185 to $215 per month for access to a single location and $250 for full access to all locations. In May 2018, the Wing announced it would begin offering scholarships to cover membership fees for selected few applicants. The scholarships were aimed at individuals who are currently underrepresented in the member pool and who are working to advance the position of women and girls in society, specifically those in the fields of teaching, non-profit, social services, and advocacy. The company offered free 2-year memberships, including professional mentorship at its various locations in 2018. The Wing's network included more than 10,000 members. In August 2018, the Wing launched an app that allows members to connect digitally, sign in guests, and register for events. In August 2018, the Wing announced that it would convert the majority of its hourly workers to full-time employees with benefits. This included giving their remaining part-time employees medical benefits, stock options, and increasing their wages to at least $16.50 per hour. In November 2017, the Wing launched a biannual magazine named No Man's Land. The inaugural edition of the magazine featured interviews with musician Remy Ma, publisher Tavi Jefferson, and a cover story featuring actress Haruneth. The magazine's second issue featured comedian Jessica Williams on the cover. No Man's Land was also the name of the Wing's podcast, hosted by Alexis Coe. The podcast's 6-episode first season featured what they described as women who were too bad for your textbooks. Episodes have focused on Stephanie Street Clare, a leader of a Harlem-based criminal syndicate, Ana Mendieta, a Cuban-American artist, and Ida B. Wells, a journalist and early leader in the civil rights movement. Workplace criticism. Journalist Amanda Hess reported that many women were drawn to seek employment at the Wing, eager to work in beautiful spaces and in the company of women. Most of the current and former employees she interviewed were excited to begin but became disillusioned. The 26 employees interviewed citing low pay and mistreatment of black members of staff. Receptionists and event staff did not expect their jobs to include cleaning duties. At Wing events, employees might find themselves to be the only black woman in the room, where members and their guests could be casually racist. Salaried employees were often expected to work extra unpaid hours, while hourly wage employees could not get as much work as they wanted. A spokeswoman said the Wing had always maintained employment best practices, and CEO Audrey Gelman said that these concerns were being addressed by raising wages, increasing employee benefits, instituting a code of conduct for members, and changing the organizational structure. Gelman resigned in June 2020. Her resignation was followed by a strike by employees at the Wing asking for sweeping changes to the management, with social media reflecting the opinion that Gelman's resignation is not enough.